Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Alan Graham from Counts Realty, and he's brought a guest with him today. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, Don, how you doing?
Good to see you, and I see you've brought your friend Corey with you.
Yeah, I've told you before that we have a whole list of professionals that I use for mortgage, termite, and today I brought Corey Brookins with 5-Star Home Inspections, and he does a lot of our inspections. I've got a group of guys that I use, but I rely a lot on Corey because he always gives me good information, good feedback, and then does a great follow-up inspection after it's the work repairs have been done to look at the repairs to make sure they comply with what he's asked.
Now you're in the business, and of course you're a real estate professional. How do you come across a guy like Corey Brookins here? I mean, how do you choose a home inspector? Who's good? Who's bad? Who's certified? Who's not?
Hey, the first thing I like to do is find somebody that shows up when I ask them to do and gives me a timely report. And explains it in a way that I can explain it to the customer and it doesn't look like a nuclear waste dump. When he's done a home inspection that finds a few problems, and a lot of times problems seem larger to the customer than they really are to repair. Corey does a great job at explaining that and walking customers through how to repair those.
Corey, how do you become a home inspector? Do you have a background in the trades or in the building trades, or is that even necessary?
Well, in the past, what had happened, it was more just about experience, general experience in the construction industry. Back in, about 5 years ago, we changed it to now it's a licensing process. Okay, there's good and bad things to both. One, pre-license, you really chose someone based off experience. We're now kind of licenses equal us all out. But then again, it is nice to have everyone that's doing this business regulated through the state.
So to have that license, you've got to take a state exam, I would imagine.
Yeah, there's exams and certifications. There's a process. To be honest with you, Don, I've done it so long ago that if they made me redo it today, I wouldn't know where to start.
Well, I'm sure you're doing a fine job because apparently Alan has confidence in your skills, and it's good to know that. I mean, anything else you need to do, you need a license for. To have a dog, to drive a car, you got to have a license. Well, to inspect something as important as your home.
Yeah. The great thing that home inspectors provide is if a customer is going to sell a home, it always cuts out a lot of the problems if they'll get a pre-inspection. And a lot of people don't think about that. Then when the inspector is called in and he does his research on the home, how the results are presented to a customer really impact the customer's perception of that home. And Corey does a great job at talking about the things that he finds that are not up to code.
So just finding things wrong with a home isn't necessarily a showstopper. These are things that can be remediated. Is that right?
No, absolutely. I mean, I tell my clients every time they show up at a home, I go, I do between 600 and 700 full inspections a year. I literally will never have one that has nothing wrong with it. Today I'll do a brand new construction. It's never been lived in, just got its CO, and I'll find a half a dozen things. Okay, this doesn't mean a home is defective. Doesn't mean it's unpurchasable. Just means we have a few things we need to take care of.
What are some of the more typical things that you find wrong with homes? I mean, what should sellers look out for before they call you in?
Well, the most common things I run into: wood rot, fogged windows, smaller things like that. That are just very typical part of a home maintenance. A lot of times just debris on the evaporator coil of your heating and cooling system. People don't think to change the filter constantly. And so, when that occurs, those things are very easily repaired.
Yeah, so good to know. Now, if you're a seller, you really do rely on the realtor to find a home inspector. Can sellers find their own home inspectors, or should they really rely on their realtor to do that?
Well, typically I provide them with a list of 2 or 3. Then they'll ask me, well, who would you use? And I said, well, out of the 3, I've used these 2. It's great to have a relationship with 2 or 3 because Corey may be booked up for a week or 2. And I need the inspection immediately. So it's great to have a relationship with 2 or 3.
Yeah, because I know just as a person who's bought and sold, you put a lot of trust in your realtor, and you kind of hope that they know what they're doing when they select an inspector for you. So word to the wise, hire a realtor that you trust and have confidence in, and of course, that trust will kind of roll downhill to whatever inspector. Gentlemen, we're so out of time, it's not funny, but thank you so much for coming on the show. It was a pleasure meeting you, Corey.
Thanks, you too, Don.
And thanks for the work you do to keep our home safe.
I appreciate it.
And we'll be right back.